I see it.
Okay, should be going live now.
Oh.
I think it's working. Yep.
Yep, we got it. We got it.
All right.
We got it.
I gotta go delete.
Is it like a whole different video now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can clean up the old one. You guys just get on with the stream.
Right. Looks like they're back. I got it.
It looks way quick. Yeah, you look way less framey and everything now. Okay. We will just take that from the top. Sorry about that, everybody.
Are you gonna start all over?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I can have the recording.
Do you still have the super chats from the other stream?
Oh, they should be in Stream Elements still. Yeah.
They should be on Stream Elements. Yes.
Open that up. Yeah, it was 2 of them, right? Okay, I got them.
2 or 3.
Who's reading them?
There were 3?
I thought
there's a member message I can get for you guys because I still got that old chat pulled up.
All right, sorry about that, everybody. It's getting. I think we're good though. I'll give it a second for some people to find the stream again since we restarted. Then we'll get going here.
Mike, are you gonna read the super chats?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I'll read the topic.
Oh, you'll read the topic. I like it. Good.
Yeah. All right. I'll shoot you the old super chats then, Mike.
I see them. I just don't see the member message. But yeah.
All right. Well, I got them all screenshot. I'll just give you that one too.
Well, yeah. How are you gonna give that to me? Because if I open
Discord DM,
if I look at it Discord DM, I'll use AJ's video the way I do it. Send it to
AJ.
AJ. He'll read it. DM to AJ.
Yeah, I'll go to AJ. There we go.
All right.
Yeah. That's why Chef has also Discord open on browser.
Y'all can just pop out the room. Neither of you.
It's way easier popping out the room.
Yeah, that's what I do when I record this stuff.
Let's not touch anything right now.
Yeah. Anyways, let's just get on.
Yes, I told that to Chef like a year and a half ago, and he still do the same shit.
All right, so we're ready for reels, everybody. So everyone be quiet. Where's my the video file, the music file?
The other one didn't happen, okay?
Yeah, we're going for real. All right, silence, please.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof, woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I am AJ Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today is Miyamoto teasing a new Mario game. Pokemon Stadium gets a date on NSO, and we're talking about our favorite Nintendo game titles. But first, AJ, thank you for joining me today. This is the first time I'm talking to you and starting a podcast with you for sure. There was definitely no technical hiccups. It's all good. It's all fine. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. This is the first time you and I have ever done a podcast together,
yes, that's
actually.
Right. Last time, too, I think, actually.
I don't know.
So, yeah, we're having a good time here. We're going to see the Mario movie tomorrow. There's been some mixed reviews. We'll see what we think about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to have a fun time. What time are we going again?
It's a 9:30 showtime.
We need something before that.
Putting my kids to bed, that's what.
Well, man, Jeff's at Margaritaville. He's taunting me. And you can't even go take me to B-dubs for a drink before a movie.
We can go after the movie, maybe.
Maybe. We'll go to that place that has bocce. We're Italians. That's a bocce thing.
There you go.
All right, I just called you Jeff for the first time.
Don't you dare.
It was so weird not hearing somebody go, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am he always goes, Nintendog. So, all right. Are you ready to get into this then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Our first story here, Miyamoto was interviewed by Variety. He's doing a promotional tour here for the movie. Variety asked him, like, hey, when's the new Mario game coming out? And he said, please stay tuned for future Nintendo Directs, and then laughed. AJ, you're probably reading into it too much to be like, wow, this means at the next Nintendo Direct, they're going to announce a new Mario game. Obviously, at some Nintendo Direct, at some day in the future, they will announce a new Mario game. I don't know. Do you read anything else into this? Do you think he is specifically teasing an imminent Nintendo Direct with news about the new Mario game?
I don't know if it's imminent, but I mean, like, they probably cleared this question before the interview, so like he wasn't surprised by it or anything. But
are you questioning Variety's editorial integrity?
Yeah, but it might shock everyone to hear they're probably working on a new Mario game right now. That statement is true 99.9% of the time, anytime.
It is. It's weird because there's all these rumors about a Donkey Kong game, and maybe the Mario team is working on that. Even the Mario team was working on that, and if that wasn't somehow a Donkey Kong and Mario game, there would have to also be a Mario game coming from that team. It's not like they're going to take a whole game cycle off to not make a Mario game. Those are a huge deal. It is a little surprising it's taking this long, but we are now in an era where, it's this bigger wait than ever for a new Zelda game, even when it looks like it's kind of just reusing a lot of stuff from the last Zelda game. So there is definitely a part of me that hopes we at least hear about a new Mario game later this year. What are you expecting from that? Do you think it's just an Odyssey 2? Or has it been so long now that you feel like it has to be more than that?
Like, I wonder if like Odyssey 2 is like the thing you could get away with like a B team in that development group while the A team's working on, this Donkey Kong game or whatever. But again, it's also been a long time for a project like that. But also, again, it's Nintendo, so they do weird things. I mean, what was the gap between Galaxy 1 and 2? How many years?
Not very long, I imagine. Probably just a couple, 2 or 3 years. Nothing crazy. I mean, the Wii had, 7-year life cycle? And Galaxy wasn't even, like, a launch year game, right? So, both of those came out during the Wii. But, yeah, there is that. Like, if it was Mario Odyssey 2, it feels like that would have happened. Now, and as Jeff likes to remind us, like, they did have to make a Bowser's Fury at some point. I know it's not a full-fledged Mario game, but that still takes up development time. It's like a big hunk there. It's like I forget how many catch signs were in there because I was traumatized by it, but there's quite a few of them to get, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was it definitely felt like a proof of concept game. Like, are they going to develop this into some new direction built on like the kind of 3D World engine, which was fine for what it was, but like, Odyssey just played so much better than that, so it's not necessarily what I wanted.
You don't like the hold down to run button kind of thing?
No, they invented Analog 6 for a reason, damn it. Like, I don't need that B button.
I like how both control. Well, I was just glad that they added in that kind of dive that Mario doesn't. Honestly, they just sort of I think that's almost alone, plus the slightly faster run speed alone is why I liked 3D World so much more on Switch than I ever did on the Wii U. So yeah, I do wonder, because it's especially when, honestly, I would kind of just want Odyssey to. Like, I loved Odyssey so much.
Yeah, it was so good.
Like, that formula could absolutely support at least one more game. I'd be completely fine with getting that. And, the last time they did do that with Galaxy 2, Galaxy 2 was awesome. I think it's fine to go. I don't want to say go back to the well as a negative connotation. It's okay to stick with that formula at least one more time before trying to do something crazy and reinvent the wheel again. Having said that, like, maybe what I see from the next game is going to be so crazy. Maybe it really is that bigger, huge open world Mario game. Maybe it is something that they need a Switch 2 for, or a Switch Pro for, and that's why we're not hearing about it. It is definitely at that point where I do wonder, and I've wondered this for a while now, if that next Mario game is a launch game for whatever the next Switch successor is.
I mean, that's an interesting idea. Is like they were developing. It's like, this just isn't going to work. Like, we just need to make this for the next hardware and we'll be ready to go. But yeah, we got to wait for Switch 2.
Before we move on to the next topic here, I want to thank everybody who is watching live. I appreciate it. We got a couple super chats earlier. If you have any questions or comments you want to throw out there, we will read all of them on the super chats, so feel free to send those. If you're watching live and you hit that like button, we really appreciate it. It helps more people find this show. It lets Jeff Grubb know that we don't need him and that we're actually happier and better off without him. So please hit that like button specifically to stick it to Jeff Grubb, who's probably having his 4th margarita right now and saying really mean things about his family. We know he's a bad person. So, yeah, exactly. All right, AJ, next thing here. Pokemon Stadium got a release date for NSO. We knew it was coming to NSO. It's now happening on April 12th. Again, this is an expansion pass game because it's for the Nintendo 64. I remember when the first Pokemon Stadium came out. It was pretty exciting, just the idea then of seeing your Pokemon going from, 8-bit Game Boy black and white to Nintendo 64, and it's fully animated and fully 3D.
In 3D.
Yeah. Now, of course, there will be no way to transfer Pokemon from any old games.
Right?
Onto
Like
this
that
version.
was what we were hoping for back when they were like they seemed to be teasing a red and blue virtual console
when they had
release.
that whole Pokemon Presents, we're like, what are they going to
Right.
announce here? And like, we kind of played ourselves a little bit by
Right.
maybe thinking
Right.
that could happen. It didn't happen. But even
Mike,
still,
was this real quick? Was the original Pokemon Stadium the game that had us thinking we were going to learn Japanese so we can import it like 6 months early?
No, that was Pokemon Gold and Silver. Was when we
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so.
There was a
yeah.
point where we're like, we'll just learn Japanese.
We were
and
very-
get this game early.
But when Pokemon Fever first hit, we were very into it. Like we got a VHS of the first Pokemon movie, like in Japanese.
In Japanese,
we just watched
yeah.
it like that. You still got the entire gist of that movie without
Well,
English. by the way.
had we seen it in English, or we just kind of relied on our
I
memory
don't
of the
even
movie?
think we did. I think we just
Yeah.
got it early. Yeah, I remember getting a ROM for Pokemon Gold and Silver because there was a fan translation
Yeah,
already.
that's right. Before it came out, that's
It's
right. I do remember
shocking.
that.
Right. But this wasn't the first Nintendo 64 Pokemon game that we got anyways. We had Pokemon Snap first, and that was fun. This was cool.
Mhm.
Now in Japan, this was actually Pokemon Stadium 2, because the first Pokemon Stadium was really limited, and then their Pokemon Stadium 2 is our Pokemon Stadium 1, which was the first one where you can actually import all 151 Pokemon.
Is that right? I thought
Yeah.
the first one was limited here too, and the second one, like that was the big thing.
No,
Was it
our
had them all.
Pokemon Stadium 2 is just the one that works with Gold and Silver. That's the only thing with ours.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Okay,
Yeah.
I had that wrong in my head.
Yep. And then
Well, that's good then, because I was like, why are we releasing the first one when the second one had all the Pokemon? So okay, I was mistaken.
Yeah, again, you got too into the Japanese lore there. So, but this will be fun. There's still things you can do because you can still make your own team with level 50 Pokemon and kind of fight these predetermined battle paths. And the mini games were a lot of fun for a lot of people. It'll be interesting to check those out again. And I've actually had some pretty good times using Nintendo Switch Online retro games online components. That's actually worked pretty okay for me. So I could see myself like on Professional Fridays, Giant Bomb, what have you, actually having a good time playing some of those like basically Mario Party mini games without the Game Board kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
So that'd be fun. Now, this isn't the most exciting Nintendo 64 game for me to add, but I am glad. It still feels like a bummer to be getting these Nintendo 64 games at such a slow
So
pace. Like,
And Game Boy seems to be doing the same thing, which is just mind-boggling to me.
right, like I need some more games now, because there's still like games that they've announced for Nintendo 64 that I'm like waiting on. It feels like I have been waiting on, like Excite Bike, and like 1080, and then there's ones they haven't announced yet that I want, and I'm just hoping, like Mischief Makers. So it is just kind of like, okay, I guess a whole month's dedicated to Pokemon Stadium, which is kind of neat, I guess, but that's fine. All right. Last thing here, AJ. Nintendo is now required by law to fix all Joy-Cons with GIF problems in Europe free of charge, even when out of warranty.
Now they were doing this already here in the States, but voluntarily, right?
Yeah, and then legal troubles came later. It was actually Patrick Klepek who I think kind of reported that they would do this, and a lot of people found out from that and sent all their Joy-Cons to Nintendo, and it cost them a ton of money. But cry me a river, your Joy-Cons suck, right?
Right. Oh no.
But this is apparently directly because of legal trouble. It is. I mean, there's a lot of lawsuits because these things suck. They break so easily. The Joy-Con drift is terrible. With them, how do you feel about Joy-Cons, AJ? Even if they did work perfectly, do you like it as a controller?
No. I mean, that's why I strictly play my Switch in portable mode in a grip to have better hold on it. When I am docked, which isn't often, but when I am, I did get the 8BitDo Ultimate controller with the Hall Effect analog sticks, and this thing is
Jeff likes
really,
that thing,
really nice. Yeah. It's become my primary PC gamepad too, unless I like want the DualSense or the Xbox for a particular reason. But generally, it's just so nice. So that's good if you're docked. But there's a lot of like good third party options now. Things like the Hori split pads. We both got the Nixie
Yeah, I got that
GameCube Joy-Cons.
Which I
Yeah,
like. I think the analog stick has a bit of a big dead zone for me, at least in one of the games I played. But I
my
like
issue with that
aesthetically.
one, there was two problems I have with that one so far. The button placement, while true to the GameCube, doesn't work in most modern Switch games because everything's like rotated one spot. It feels like where A is on the bottom and B is where X should be, so to speak.
Sure.
And then the other thing that's annoying, it has those back buttons, but when you go to map them, you can't, for example, have the left back button do anything that's on the right side of the Joy-Con. So like,
Because they're technically separate controllers,
right? And that's like, well, that's not very useful. Like, I don't.
Right.
What am I going to put on that left back button? The D-pad up? I don't know. Like, so that was a bummer. But I mean, for certain games where it makes sense, it is very nice. I do like it, so I'm glad I have it. It'd probably be good to connect my Steam Deck for playing Dolphin.
Do you think the next Switch just uses the same Joy-Cons? Do you think there's some kind of an upgrade there?
I think it. I mean, then maybe there'll be like a Joy-Con 2 that's like upgraded internally, but I think for the sake of compatibility, it's generally going to have to be the same basic idea. Like, again, we don't know what the Switch 2 is. If it like Switch 2 might be a misnomer, it could be something entirely different. But if it is truly going to be a Switch 2, I think you're kind of dedicated to that idea. I mean, it could be like the Xbox controllers, like the from 1 to Series. They look the same, but there are slight tweaks, improvements, and internal changes. So maybe we're looking at that kind of situation.
All right, Edge Guy. That's it for our nude topics here. Nude? Did I say nude topics?
Nude topics.
That's not my worst
told
slip
you
up
guys.
of the week. So we got some super chats here. I'm gonna read a couple of these. I think you have one from a subscriber here.
I've got the. You want me to do the subscriber one
you
first?
You go ahead. I know how anxious
This
you are.
comes from Uriel Delgado, who's been a member for 4 months. Shoot, I don't know this jingle. I know everyone knows it, but I don't watch TV. But Whopper, 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 Whopper Jr., 2X, 3X, Whopper, flame grilled taste with perfect toppers. Rule this day: lettuce, mayo, pickle, ketchup. It's okay. I just butchered that.
What the hell are you talking about? Look, I don't know this jingle.
It's a jingle.
Is this a thing now?
It's big on TikTok, I believe.
People like Burger King.
Oh, Burger King! Dude, tell Sophia. Ask her what's her favorite fast food burger. She likes the Whopper, man.
I tell you, I took her to Burger King once. I remember, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Are we getting paid by Burger King for reading that out loud? Maybe not. After I just said I don't like Burger King.
Yeah.
They are
Going
right
real
across.
well.
They're right across the street from the Arby's here, so it's like, why would I go to the Burger King?
We had Arby's tonight.
There you go. You're smart. Ariel Delgado also sent a super chat saying, "Wasn't Exo Primal initially announced as a free-to-play game? Whatever happened to Deep Down, the PlayStation 4 exclusive Capcom game? Looked cool. Souls-like. I don't remember Exo Primal being announced as a free-to-play game.
I think a lot of people assumed it because it looked like one.
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
It's on Game Pass, so kind of free
People
to
seem to
play.
be liking it, so it's like it
Yeah,
definitely
we'll
has
see.
a battle pass. So maybe some people saw that and assumed. I don't know. Deep Down was I don't know if that was ever much of a game. That was like
No, Deep Down was like the original White Knight Chronicles video where like even if it did come out, it was never gonna look like that first video where like the guy was like behind cover and like winced when the dragon breathed fire and it was like, wow, look at this detailed animation. It's so cool.
Right. What's funny though is like that is a concept that would maybe do pretty well now because
Oh sure.
He's right. It would probably be like a Souls-like. So sure, but also Capcom's found a formula here that's working pretty well for them. They're branching a little bit out with new IP like Exo Primal, but generally it's hey, people sure do like Resident Evil. They sure do like Monster Hunter. Yeah, we'll do a Devil May Cry every once in a while in a Mega Man compilation. But I don't know if they're gonna do something so crazy as we can make our own Dark Souls with deeps and downs.
If you want Dark Souls from Capcom, I guess go play Monster Hunter. That's as close as you're gonna get.
Or Dragon's Dogma, not really, but they are making Dragon's Dogma 2, and
that is true.
I actually never played Dragon's Dogma. And
Me neither. I have it. I have it on Steam. I should download it. And
I don't really know what it is. I assume it's kind of like Skyrim, but not.
You have a party, I think.
Like, what do people like about Dragon's Dogma? Is it like the combat? Is it the RPG mechanics? Is it the world? Like, what is it about the game that's supposed to be good? I wonder.
I don't know. Yeah,
because it's a weird game where when it came out, no one seemed to care. Then like 3 years later, everyone's like, "Oh, everyone really underrated Dragon's Dogma." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Did they? Oh, okay.
My bad then. I guess I should have played that. Green Thumb says it is Tuesday. He's right. Have a few milk bones. Yum yum. Hope the dogs, the mods, the chat, the Discord, and the silent majority are doing well. Thank you very much, Green thumbs. Do you give your dogs milk bones? You give them something posh and fancy?
They get these little trainer bite treats, and then Scout, the younger of the two dogs, gets like these like CBD, hemp, melatonin infused treats that don't do a damn thing to calm him down.
People are apparently saying that the combat is good in Dragon's Dogma, which makes sense because it is like DMC team.
We'll have to actually try it.
Maybe. Oh, Grug says Fire Emblem Engage DLC is out now. Also, why does Mike hate the younger Minotti and doesn't let him out of the basement to become a Nintendo? Chris never liked the podcast as much. He's doing it more now when we start doing 90s Disney, and he's doing well at it. But he's slightly less outgoing. I don't know if that's the word outgoing, but
Chris doesn't
shyer.
draw attention to himself as much as we do.
Right. He did the Game as Jeopardy. That was
I was gonna say he was on. You'll if you do not subscribe, you'll get that in a month or so. But if you go and subscribe, you will be able to watch that.
Yes, so that was a good time. It was a close game, is all I will say about that. All right, that does it for the super chats. Why don't we go into this topic, AJ? We can start doing that. I'm kind of curious, actually. Is there something that jumps to your mind? But the topic, by the way, you can send a super chat about this if you want. What is your favorite Nintendo game title? Like, what is your favorite name for a Nintendo game? Not because it's your favorite game for anything else, but what just is like a cool name or you think is a good name? I'm always interested in that stuff. Like what makes a good name or not. There's a lot of bad game names out there. Or a lot
we
of
could do that topic too.
A lot of just nonsense ones you don't even think about, right? So, it's fine. But are there like ones that you really like, AJ?
I had a submission before I knew I'd be on the show, and I submitted Donkey Konga because that's pretty good.
That is, of course, you like it because it's a dad joke, basically in disguise. Right?
It was a fun game. It was a cool concept. It made sense for the character, and then they even managed to turn it into an actual platforming game, which is neat too. But Donkey Konga, like that's good.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
I wish it was a better rhythm game. It's an okay rhythm game. It's a little too simple. They don't quite add quite enough to it. And it needed
that Nintendo mainstream audience, yeah.
It needed way more Nintendo songs in there too.
Also true. Yeah, it was no Samba de Amigo.
Right. Like I think you could play the Zelda theme and like the Pokemon anime theme, actually. I don't even know if it had like a lot of Donkey Kong Country songs in it, which would seem like a slam dunk, right?
Right. Oh well.
No, not really. I don't know if it's a boring answer, but Wind Waker keeps coming to my mind. I just like the alliteration of that a lot, even more so than the other Zelda titles with alliteration, like Majora's Mask or things like or Skyward Sword. Wind Waker just sounds really good to me. It's evocative, like, ooh, what's the Wind Waker? I mean, I always like the fantasy trope of like the kind of world past its prime sort of a thing, and maybe it's going to get reawoken.
Not necessarily like apocalyptic, but like just like everyone's here, but like these aren't the glory days,
right? And there's a lot
things
of
used to be better.
Yeah, there's a lot of Zelda games that are that. Basically, I mean,
Breath of the Wild is that.
Like that. Link to the Past is like that. It's almost rare when you have games that are like in their thriving kingdom names, like Minish Cap and Ocarina of Time. Really, yeah. I think I saw a tweet recently that was pretty funny. It was like there's two types of high fantasy. There's the world used to have magic when the dragons were here, but they've been gone a long time now. We're in the decline. Then the other kind of high fantasy is how the fuck do we get rid of these dragons? Oh God, help! Those are the two eras.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Triforce. Yeah, Kevin in chat's like Triforce of the Gods is cool. Do you like Triforce of the Gods or Link to the Past better? Is the name there?
I mean, Link to the Past is like what I know.
That's cute because it's that's I like names that tell you more than one thing, right? So that's like, okay, Link, yeah, I get it, but also, and there's like this link to the. Actually, like that game, that's not really what you're doing in that game. The Link to the Past isn't all that important. Like it doesn't it's not actually evocative of switching between the two worlds.
No, it's not time travel. It's just world switching. But
yeah, Link to the Past would actually be a much better name for Ocarina of Time.
You're right. Is this like that Star Wars meme where it's like all the names are wrong except for Wind Waker? I guess.
Yeah, there's something to that. But what did our community have to say about this one, AJ?
All right, well, Evo Janus starts us off strong here. Now, I don't know how to pronounce any of this original Japanese, but it's some game that came out on the Switch in Japan with a bunch of little cutesy anime characters on the cover. And he says the Nintendo Life translation says its title is Defeat monsters to get strong swords and armor. Even if you die, fight and become stronger. We believe in the day the heroes will defeat the demon lord.
There's a lot of that with these Japanese games, and again, just because like that language is has so much more brevity in the way that they do it with characters.
But even when you look at how it's written, it's still pretty long.
They also like subtitles a lot more. Like all the Mega Man games have subtitles in Japan, which is weird. Like Rockman 2's or Mega Man 2's like Rockman 2, Dr. Wily returns and has more robots, stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
All right, Dr. Sus says, my favorite has to be Ocarina of Time. What makes it special is the item's use. It can do many things, traveling in time not being one of them. You use to open the door of time, but the actual method of time travel is placing or removing the Master Sword.
That started a tradition for a long time of most of the Zelda games being named after the key item, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, the Minish Cap, the Phantom Hourglass, the Skyward Sword. There's like a few exceptions thrown in there, like Twilight Princess. That's not really the key item, I guess. So there you go. But yeah. Ocarina of Time is cool. Like Ocarina, that's just that's like a magical instrument. That works.
And who knew what an ocarina was before 1998?
Not me.
No.
Look at us now. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
By the way, do you have this list open on your end? People have been uploading the box art for these.
I can't get that again. If I open anything but your face here, I'm gonna break everything. I don't know how Jeff does this.
Then never mind my joke. I was gonna try to get you to read this next one, but Jamie H1224 submits the box art for Terranigma.
Oh, great.
Which I will
That's
very
actually
carefully
an awful name. What the hell does that mean? I know what Terra means, Earth.
It's an Earth mystery.
Is that? Oh, like, yeah.
Terranigma.
I didn't even realize that was a portmanteau. Is that what that's called? Right?
Portmanteau, but yeah, close.
I didn't even realize that's what they were doing with that. Those Quintet games have okay, like Soul Blazer, like all right. I feel like there's a lot of games that could be called Soul Blazer. You know what I mean? That could be the name for 3/4 of video games ever.
Sonic Adventures, Soul Blazer.
Right. Illusion of Gaia, at least, is somewhat provocative. I mean, I don't know who Gaia is. Some kind of Earth goddess, I assume, but that's fine.
That's also Earth mana energy. The Rock would put in parentheses on his Instagram. All right, Matt Rare Monkey shares Kururin. It's very fun to say.
That is fun to say. Sometimes sometimes with names like that, I get mixed up and I forget how many Urus or Kurus there are.
Yeah, there's one more than I always think.
Yeah, like King DDD. Sometimes I'll add another D by accident, and then I'll
King
feel stupid.
King
DDD. Yeah, Green Thumb says it makes him feel like he has a speech impediment. Kuruin. Like Porky Pigging it.
There's a fire. Get the fuck out.
Like, oh God. Yeah. The kids know about the G.I. Joe PSA joke things anymore? Is that another boomer thing now?
I don't know. That's right there with You're the Man Now, dog.
No, great.
All right. Dan Park shares the Game Genie. He says, I'm cheating and saying Game Genie. I mean, look at him. The sexy, salacious apparition that is the Game Genie. Mike, remember, he was like, oh yeah, I'm holding the Game Genie. Yeah. Man, what a weird product when you really think about it. This thing that sat between your cartridges, and there was just a hex code for everything you could imagine that just changed in a game, and it all was in a book. You had to keep that book, enter these codes, and you could do anything.
I think Game Genie is why I realized I could never be a video game programmer, because I just don't understand how we're able to insert a few characters, and like all of a sudden, like the game changes. Like what? Like how does this work?
Well, it's like I don't know. You ever have to like edit a config file on a PC game?
No.
Oh, that's basically what the Game Genie was doing, like on the fly on a cartridge.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, it's confusing. But he's right. The aesthetics of the Game Genie ruled. That big, powerful genie. That just sounds good.
How's come no one does that cosplay? Let's see it, Mike.
That was pre-Aladdin.
Get yourself red.
That was pre-Aladdin also, right? So, like, genies weren't in, right? So good on them. They got in front of that. And maybe Aladdin was actually just continuing a trend, because there was genies everywhere, I feel like. The DuckTales movie had a genie.
How derivative.
Yeah, we were all really big about genies in the 80s and 90s. You all missed out.
We all wanted 3 wishes. Gigantes says, I believe the name got changed before its release date, but it's still a good one. This is, you remember the cover for Touch Deek? D-I-C?
What? Touch Dick?
No, Mike Deek.
What kind of game is Touch Dick?
I have no idea. YBM, CISA.com.
The
There's
name
some
got
Japanese
changed. I
on
wonder
here.
why.
I don't know. I forget what it got
It's
changed.
short
I do.
for Touch Dictionary.
Thank you, Circle
That's
Shot.
right.
Okay, I like
A
that.
Touch Dictionary.
I like Sean popping in like a Stat Boy from. That's another
Yeah.
boomer thing. Stat Boy from PTI. Jesus.
Dude, they still do that show. It's not Boomer. It's Kurt.
Yeah, but he's not Stat. I think they call him his name now, and he hosts
Yeah,
around
reality.
the horn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
All right. Chuck, 1991, says the best Nintendo game is Animal Forest E+, because they had the confidence to do a GameCube re-release of a GameCube re-release of a Nintendo 64 game with the selling point, it's got e-reader support now.
What do you think about that series being called Animal Forest in Japan?
Was that tough for them when they put it on a beach and it wasn't in a forest anymore?
I mean, there's still trees. You could have a forest by a beach. I mean, I don't like it. I think Animal Crossing.
No, Animal Crossing's a much better name. Yeah.
In almost every case where there's the Japanese version and the North American version, I feel like we got the better end of that deal. Resident Evil, way cooler name than Biohazard.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis, much better name than Mega Drive. Mega Man, better than Rockman.
All true. USA.
We're doing it. We're winning.
Oh, no, Leah.
We can't stop winning here in America.
No, we just can't. Oh, no, Leah says, can't believe no one has said this yet. It's basically a freebie. She shares the box for Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore.
My God.
A lot of fonts in this logo.
Tokyo Mirage. So did you ever realize that the initials for Tokyo Mirage Sessions is SMT backwards for Shin Megami Tensei? Wow, right? I just blew his mind. AJ just blew up and died. So
wow, that means so much.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of a try-hard name, I suppose you could say. It's a bit too much there.
It sounds like it's a re-release of a game that already came out.
Well, it kind of was. Was the name different for that Switch version? The Encore is different. I think they added the Encore at least.
Okay, the Encore is... Okay, yeah, you're right.
Encore was that, because it was a Wii U game first. It was a Wii U
that's
game.
right. I always forget that came out.
And everyone's very upset. You forgot to pronounce
the sharp is pronounced. That's not a graphic.
Sorry,
I'm not a dirty fucking weeb.
Oh, God. Look, I played through this game. I remember almost nothing about it. It's a very forgettable game.
Stutter? I said...
It's an okay game. It has a fun combat system and not a lot going on upstairs, you know? That's right, it's the Vagina Bones game. That should have been the name.
Yeah, that's what I remember most about it.
This is the Vagina Bones game. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I know Chris liked Eternal Sonata. He's got, like, repressed weeb things going on if you like that game and, won't play anymore.
He protests too much sometimes about some of the
but other ones...
I wonder if there's like one other JRPG I could ever possibly get him into. I don't know. Like, because he likes the Souls-like games, which is basically just like if a JRPG pretended to be cool. Right? So he could be there again. I bet he'll like Final Fantasy 16 because he likes the new God of Wars. And that's
true. Yeah, we'll get him in there. We'll get him in there.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Chris is playing Demon Souls as we speak. Listen to him. Talking all this shit about him. All right, AJ, what's next?
Velocity Prime 1. Says, let's say Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Evocative, iconic, and issues the main character's name as a pun.
Yeah, but now I'm really caught up on how it has, it
Nothing to do with
implies
the past.
time travel. Right. It's also not even, like, referencing the past. Isn't that game supposed to be a prequel?
I was going to say, where is it
Zelda
on the
1?
timeline?
I think it takes place before Zelda 1 on the timeline.
So maybe that's why.
This is the past. Yeah, okay, I guess it's still...
Yeah.
Sure. You know what? That game could have been called Link Between Worlds. Would have been good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Link Between Worlds is a good name.
That's a good name.
The past is his dead uncle. I always feel bad about that dead uncle, man.
Right? That poor guy.
We seem to move on from that pretty quickly. I mean, I know we're a silent protagonist and everything, but geez.
Right? Shed a tear, Link. Damn it.
Right?
Nintendo Bro says, I would like to submit Spitball Sparky. I just think it's neat. This is a Game & Watch Super Color handheld game.
Sparky.
Yeah.
I don't know why that makes me think of Dylan's Rolling Western, which is...
It is not that.
Maybe too clever of a title. Also, never
This
played
looks
those.
this looks like it might be like a kind of Breakout clone, maybe.
You mean an Arkanoid clone?
Yeah.
Steve Wozniak's Breakout.
That's right. TechQC has what might actually be the correct answer. He says it's not even close. Splatoon. 10/10 mouthfeel, or 10 out of 10 mouthfeel.
You know,
It of all the punny names, that's a really good one.
I'm not saying I didn't know this, because of course, like, if you had asked me to figure it out, I would have. But I never actually sat down long enough to figure out that they just combined the word splat and platoon. Like, obviously, it's what they did. I'm not saying I didn't know they did that. I'm not saying I didn't know they did that. I just never really, like, thought about, like, oh, yeah, that's what they're doing. I'm not, look, don't get mad at me, everybody.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just yelling, chat's, like, gonna jump on me. I was like, yeah, Splatoon, that's a name for this game. It just, like, somehow already... It seems like, yeah, that's just the name of this game. That's just a word. Look, he's right though. It's a good name. It's a good name. Real Phoenix Down moment. I always understood the Phoenix Down thing, by the way.
All right, Big Tony says my dogs.
Yo,
He shows Nintendogs. I mean,
Yes,
come on,
that
it's
does
right
count.
there.
Yeah, how excited did they get? What happened first? That they wanted to make a pet simulator with dogs, or that they realized if they added a G to the end of their name, they could spell the word dog?
It's right there.
Like, what was first?
It's hard to say. Maybe they both happened at the same time. Maybe no one noticed. Maybe they just said we're going to make a game on Nintendo and dogs, and they made it Nintendogs. And then years later, someone was sitting on a podcast for Nintendo and said, "Wait a minute, we combined Nintendo and dogs."
There you go.
Razzle Jazzled says Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. Because now you know what you're getting, right?
It is funny how they did Mario 2, then skipped to Mario World for some reason, then Yoshi's Island, and then went back to
And
Mario
like
3.
we don't want to confuse everybody.
Yeah, I don't know why Mario 3 just didn't happen right away. Especially, it's not like, well, we had to skip the bad one. Everyone likes Mario 3. I mean, I
Right.
was happy at the time because I like Mario World and Yoshi's Island more than Mario 3, so I had no problem with it.
All right, Screaming Madden says everyone talks about Mike Tyson being the sports celebrity that appeared in a Nintendo game, but what about Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball? He's presenting the league to you. Also, I'm posting the Nintendo Power cover because KGJ playing SNES is a funny sight, and he is really having a good time in the clubhouse playing some Super Nintendo.
Ken Griffey Jr. is a good name. I just like that name.
Yeah.
Sounds
It was
better than
fun
Ken
seeing
Griffey
him.
Sr.
He was the hitting coach for America in the World Baseball Classic, and
Fun.
Did you see like the one game like during batting practice, he just like got up to the plate and took a few swings. Like all the guys were like, "Holy shit, Kevin Griffey Jr.'s batting!"
Yeah.
Everyone stop and watch.
It's interesting. What was the name of the Nintendo 64 one? Because I don't remember playing that one.
It
wasn't just also
I
called
did
that.
play it.
Yeah.
Let's see real quick.
Yeah, because there was only those two, right? This Super Nintendo
It was just
one?
Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, then what's the Super Nintendo one called? Ken Griffey Jr. Presents
Jr.
Major
presents
League Baseball?
Major League Baseball.
That's
Yeah.
confusing.
Right. But then wasn't the N64 one, was that the one they finally got the team licenses?
I don't remember the 64 one. I know in the Super Nintendo version they did not have the team.
No,
Well,
in fact,
they
they tried to make it sound like a selling point on the back of the box, like enter in the name of all MLB players yourself. Like,
well, they had
no.
team licenses. They didn't have players licenses.
Right? Yeah, they didn't have the Major League Baseball Players Association. I
I
believe
was thinking it was called Slugfest. That sounds right. You sure the one wasn't called Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest on Nintendo 64?
Hang on the Wikipedia. I mean, I'm looking at the cover art. There was a sequel the following year called Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest.
There you go. There we go. There was two in Nintendo 64. Thank you, Michael. All right, what's next?
All right, next we got from Lenny Cool Dick Denver. Sorry for the poor quality box art, but Monkey Puncher is a top tier game name. I wonder what you do in that game.
Monkey Punch. Is this like a Flick Dick or whatever that other one was called?
Touch Dictionary.
Touch Dick. Yeah, Touch Dick and Monkey Puncher. Holy shit.
As we were paving the road for the current situation on the eShop. 1UP versus CPU. Adventure Time. Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage? Basically, way forward making a Zelda 2 style game without the Zelda IP.
Yeah, that I actually I think about the name of that game sometimes. I think that's funny. It's evocative because I'm like, why is this man stealing their garbage?
Yeah, what's his deal?
Why
do they want their garbage back so bad? Let them have it.
Yeah, what is his plan? Yeah, I kind of want to play that sometime because it's like, yeah, that's kind of neat that they just made.
Yeah, it's way forward. They know what they're doing.
Did you ever watch that show?
Not a second.
Yeah, I feel like I should like it because I feel like it's so. I love Steven Universe, and this is very much of that era. I think the Steven Universe creator Rebecca Sugar started on Adventure Time, but I never watched Adventure Time or like those other kind of shows of that era, like a regular show. Regular show seems like a bit too much for me, though. I don't know. I think it's false advertising. That show doesn't look regular at all. It's very irregular.
All right, we are about halfway through, but if you still want to submit a super chat with any ideas you have here, we can tack those on at the end.
Good job, BJ. Sell.
Oh my God, I'm a pro at this, man.
Yeah.
Ezipsis says, imagine being in a meeting room trying to decide on the new subtitle for your hit series when someone suggests general, but someone else shuts down because it's too modern and militaristic. So they go with what was probably the next question. What's the word for a person of lordly caliber? Ogre Battle 64, person of lordly caliber.
All of those Ogre Battle / Tactic Ogre games have great subtitles. The ones like "Let us cling together." I'm like,
yes, that's a good one too.
I like that. That's good. Yeah, that's a lot.
I know that remaster came out, and maybe I'll get to it. But I've never played an ogre game.
It's like it's weird because some of them just look like Final Fantasy Tactics, but then that Nintendo 64 one, it almost looks more like a normal RPG or JRPG.
Well, and I didn't know what it was. I assumed it was like fighting ogres, and I was like, whatever.
I think ogres do not feature very prominently.
No,
actually.
Yeah, which is confusing.
Yeah, I agree, but I'll allow it.
All right, Mr. Bowler says the name F-Zero already sounds cool and futuristic, and that's before you realize it's a play on F1, which is pretty good.
Yeah, F-Zero is pretty great because even without knowing that little gag there, it just kind of makes sense. Like, even if you don't really know it, your brain knows it, it kind of makes that connection. You're like, yeah, this sounds like a racing thing. Cool.
That's right. Jat says, did you know the original name for Pac-Man was Puck-Man?
I did.
They changed it, not because he looks like a hockey puck.
Because people are saying, fuck man!
Well, I'm getting spoilers. But Paku Paku means the flap your mouth in Japanese, and they were worried people would scratch out the P and change it to an F or whatever. And they were right. So good move to the Pac-Man, because Fac Man, that doesn't mean anything.
Fuck man.
The Only Exiled says we all know the real answer. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days.
Oh! You sound, AJ, no offense, you sound like a stupid asshole.
I knew
what a fucking moron
when
over
you
here.
Say it like that.
What an idiot.
When you say it like that.
What's the correct way? I thought I was gonna get it, but I don't know.
It's not
Big crack at Mike.
It's not 358 days. It's 358 days. No, 358 over 2 days.
So close. It's days over 2.
Oh my god, 358 days over 2. That's it. Excuse me. But yeah.
Wait. No. Hang on. It's 358 days over 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's not.
It is.
Yes, it is.
I'm looking at the box art. It is not written in that order. It's a
so
single
here's
line.
the thing. Here's the thing.
God.
That's the English box art. On the Japanese box art, there is a hilariously long string of Japanese characters beneath it that spell out word for word 358 days
also
over
commercial,
2.
I think.
All right, listen. I speak
Also,
the
there's
Queen's
commercial.
English, and it does not say that.
The Queen's fucking dead, Ash guy. All right, just like Goofy in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's over.
Yeah.
All right, what's that?
All right. Hosp says, "Oh, that's funny." As an Englishman, I have to appreciate maybe the only sarcastic Nintendo published game title. Good job.
What do you?
That's the title. Good job.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know. It looks like an eShop game.
Yeah. What do they think about Star Fox being called Lilat Wars over there? Do they like that?
That's not bad.
I
mean,
don't
Star
hate
Fox
it.
is pretty good too. Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, they're
It is
both
kinda
good.
cool. Yeah, they're both good.
They're both good. Like Lilat
They
Wars
should-
is
they-
nothing, but it still sounds right.
They should make the next one in the States called Star Fox: The Lilat Wars.
Oh, you
and
wanted
then
to
in
do-
Europe? They could call it The Lilat Wars: Star Fox.
You want them to do a Resident Evil 7 with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, cute.
Yeah.
Oh, is this Star
Alright.
Fox again over there? I don't like that. Although they always do that eventually. Dragon Warrior became Dragon Quest again
Dragon Quest,
eventually.
yeah,
here,
yeah.
Cowards.
DMC Depress Me Crying says, I like when titles would be a play on DS or 3DS for franchise entries on those consoles. There's far too many DS games that do this to list here, but here's a few. The fact that a Betty Boop game exists really shows how hard they were going after everyone's elderly
Wow.
aunt and grandmas with the 3DS. So you had Kirby Triple Deluxe, you had Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor, Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, Resident Evil. It's too small.
Wait,
to
it
see.
is Tensei. It rhymes with Sensei. You had it right the first time.
Oh shit! God,
Yeah.
I did the thing you do.
There you
What's
go.
the Resident Evil one? I can't read it.
Resident
It's
Evil
too
was
small.
something Strike, Dual Strike, or
Oh, here, Deadly Silence. That's
Deadly Science. Deadly
Japanese
Silence. Yeah.
thing that ends in Dreams Skincare,
Yeah. There you go.
and then Betty Boop's Double Shift.
That's incredible. I want to play this Betty Boop game.
Right?
Advance Wars Dual Strike is one. Yeah.
Boop.
I really, I just recently played Resident Evil 1 and really liked it. I want to play Resident Evil Dual Strike. I like thought they remade the game just like for the DS. It's apparently just largely based off the original PlayStation version, and I find that very interesting. So
That's very interesting.
yeah, I need to check that down sometime. That sounds like fun, actually.
All right, Sad Hoot Noises Bop says, do third-party games that release on the Switch count? Because I don't think anyone will ever be able to top South Park: The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It took me a long time to realize what they were even doing with that one.
You guys say it right. They're saying butthole, Mike, a fractured butthole.
I get it. Yeah, I get it now. It's a cracked ass. I guess
Yes.
the cracked ass didn't read quite as well.
Yeah. Donk Kong says, "Hey you Pikachu" has A+ alliteration. Do you want to tell him?
Do I want to tell him what?
That's not alliteration.
Hey, you Pikachu. Yeah, that's rhymes.
It's rhymes and it's rhythm, but
And
it's
it's got a good flow to it. It's not really alliteration.
alliteration would be if it was like,
hey, who Pikachu?
yeah, or hey poo Pikachu.
Hey, poo Pikachu. I never cared. I never tried that game. I never wanted to. I just looked at it and I was like, you're not Seaman. How dare you stand where he stood?
The man of the sea.
Then they made that
Seaman.
ugly like Pokemon, like Pikachu Nintendo 64 that they sold with it, and it was gross.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
This.
All right, www.juicymelons.gov, which I do not suggest you enter into your web browser, post the box art for Hamtaro Ham Heartbreak on the
That's
Game Boy Advance.
You know, Nintendo published, at least maybe developed those Hamtaro games. They're supposed to be good.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like if you look at like one of the Smash Brothers just like had the full list of Nintendo published games, and it's funny because it has these Hamtaro games listed.
Right. Gerber says Trajectile might actually be a perfect name. It's a DSiWare puzzle game published by Nintendo, so it's eligible. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think I have Trajectile Dysfunction.
Go see a doctor. Go set up for HIMS. You guys can get a HIMS sponsorship.
There you go. Like that. Well, is that the blue pill or is that a different one?
No, that's Viagra.
Oh, what's the blue pill? That is Viagra. I thought there was one literally called blue pill. No, that's what the weirdos say. I got red pill, right?
Yeah, because they think they understand the Matrix or something.
Blue Chew. That's what I'm thinking of. Thinking Green Thumbs. Blue Chew. AJ, come on. Stop pretending like you don't know.
What?
Nothing.
Like Big League Chew?
No. What's next?
Chaos Buckaroo says, I will go with the entire Metroid series. Metroid is a nice fanciful word, as you say it in the world of trademark. It is a made-up word. It rolls off the tongue well and sounds cool. The series is filled with badass and relatively rare subtitles like Prime, Dread, Fusion, and Zero Mission.
Yeah,
Metroid is a good word.
As far as just making up a word and having it work, Metroid is great. It just immediately kind of gives you that sci-fi feeling. And every single subtitle version of it also sounds good. Metroid Fusion, Metroid Dread. I even like Other M. That's okay. Metroid Prime, obviously great. Donnie brought this up. I saw someone saying this. If get anyone in chat, I don't know if you saw this. Why are there Vita 2 rumors going around?
Seriously, just get a Steam Deck, everybody.
Jeff responded very quickly about this on Twitter, saying that all he's heard is that maybe they're going to make some kind of a cloud streaming thing, which makes way more sense than them making a new Vita. I don't think it's going to have the words Vita or PlayStation Portable on it anywhere. But,
right. I mean, this is the trend. Like, just ROG announced a new Steam Deck competitor. Like, everyone thought it was an April Fool's joke, but it was like, no, this is actually real. Which, I don't know. I assumed it was, so I wrote it off.
I mean, it makes sense because now so many people are going to really be worried about making sure all their games are going to work with some kind of portable computer. Like, anything that is Steam Deck verified now is going to be, quote unquote, ready to go
handheld
for all
verified,
these other things. Yeah, they're going to be handheld verified. So, there you go. But, Yes, someone was saying in chat, I missed it. There's some kind of like a Reddit leak or something that this is tied
Yeah.
to. We'll see.
All right. Clink says, quote, "Hey, we have a relatively popular Pokemon spin-off series with a consistent naming scheme. Should we have the next one keep that trend? We could, or Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness."
Yeah, what the heck? Couldn't be Pokemon
Right?
Coliseum 2. Yeah, I am a sucker for consistency, AJ, unless
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
but I'm also a big fan of when you're uh inconsistently consistent. Like the Fast and the Furious movies, right? Like
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to that.
right, and then I think like Mario Kart is almost the closest we have, although there was just Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8. But like for a while it's just like something different each time. Maybe sometimes based off the system. But yeah, I'm always really fascinated when the series like doesn't do numbers and then suddenly does. Like Mario Kart 7, like
Mhm.
Luigi's like, we had Luigi's Mansion. For the 3DS. What was that called? Something Moon?
Yeah,
Yeah, then we had Luigi's Mansion 3. It's like, we don't need to be clever. Never
yeah.
mind with that,
Do
actually.
you have a
Dark
copy
Moon.
of do you have a copy of Gale of Darkness?
No, I have just Pokemon Coliseum. Those two are very expensive.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still all about. I need to find these games in person. There's like, I need to go to some of these toy shows. I think there's going to be one in Girard. I gotta double check when that is.
Ooh, okay. All
Because
right.
even like
That'd
I
be
was like,
fun.
okay, I'll try Facebook Marketplace, and I try to buy Spider-Man 1 and 2 for GameCube on there, and it's just like the orders. Like I think I was charged, and I was like, the order's been put on hold. Like what? Why? And I messaged the guy like, hey, why is this happening? And he won't say. I was like, yeah, this is why I don't do this. This is stupid.
Yeah.
It's not as much fun, anyways.
Right? Yeah, you gotta just find it in the store.
Yeah.
All right, Pablo Cost says, let's not forget that for a few months, Dragon Quest 10 or 11S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition was a Nintendo Switch exclusive, but that's my troll answer. My real pick would be Pikmin, which no one's brought up yet.
Pikmin's cute. It's kind of close to Pokemon in a weird way. Does that ever bother you?
Yeah, you're right. If you Pikmin.
You, like blurred your eyes. Like, yeah. Dragon Quest 9, the one that was on DS exclusive, has maybe my favorite of the subtitles for that series. Sentinels of the Starry Skies. Now that's alliteration for you. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Mhm.
All right, JD Camp. I've never heard of this one. Jerry Rice and Nidus's dog football.
What?
There's a dog catching a football while other dogs in red jerseys are looking on, and then in the top corner in a little circle is Jerry Rice and presumably his pit bull Nidus.
I don't know why this make me think of that. You ever hear of Puchinsky?
No.
It was like they filmed a pilot for some show in like the 80s. With who was the guy who was Frankenstein, young Frankenstein? He was in Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle was a hard-boiled detective who died, got reincarnated as a cop. You could just see like the sizzle reel like pitch for this thing, and they like built this like animatronic puppet for him, and it has his voice, and it's Puchinsky. And it's great. Like the guys like try to sell it like Puchinsky's got laughs for the whole family, but it also has a lot of heart. And then it's like just shows this dog looking in the mirror. He's like, look at me, I'm a dog. I died. I don't know why. Then he's like, Puchinsky. It literally sounds like when the South Park people are doing a fake commercial. Peter Boyle in Puchinsky. I love Puchinsky. What's next?
Also, JD Camp points out, and he's right. This game is available on Steam for $3,
Oh my
and it
God.
looks like a crappy Wii game that came out 12 years ago.
Right.
Okay. Fluffy Cloud Gamer says, cheating because it debuted on Windows at launch as well and is no longer console exclusive, but I always loved this Switch gem. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
It's one of those indie games everyone's talking about. I never played it, but
Yeah. Do you also have to give it your social security number like that Wi-Fi tax game?
yeah, type it in.
Yeah, be fun.
Do your taxes, everybody. It's coming up. Octo says, going strictly with Nintendo-made games, Gumshoe is a pretty dope title. Also, who can forget freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land and ripened Tingle's Balloon Trip of Love?
Those are both names to be sure.
Yes. Bayleaf Moon, of course, Mike. It's Hentai RPG Isekai Journey.
That's one with
You
the
know exactly what you're getting with that one.
Yeah, what was it that the description of that made me laugh? Something about hand pumping action or something. It was
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That sent me flooring. Did anybody say Star Tropics? That's a good. In terms of just
Yeah, that was a
making
good one.
a made-up compound word.
Yeah.
I don't know why this hentai game made me think about that, but there we are.
Here's another good descriptive one. Wong Jeff says, delving into the weird world of Nintendo Switch visual novels, we have My Girlfriend is a Mermaid.
It's an everybody's
also-
girlfriend and mermaid.
See, also, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Oh, that one's fun. Is it wrong to? I think that's the question. Is it like morally not appropriate? Nah,
Snake.
Yeah,
Do you think love could bloom on a battlefield?
Snake. Is it morally wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Like, Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay.
All right. The Persona Wolf 5 says Castlevania titles are like mid-2000s metal albums for me. Extremely edgy, but badass nonetheless. We've got Castlevania, Order of Ecclesia, Castlevania, Portrait of Ruin, Castlevania, Harmony of Dissonance, and Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow.
You also have Dawn of Sorrow, which combines that with the whole DS thing, so that's fun.
Right.
Yeah, Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance. That does sound awesome. I don't know if any of them are actually as good as Symphony of the Night, though. That's another title. How about that?
All right. Doji Kodo shares Waifu Uncovered for the Nintendo Switch.
All right.
It's rated Peggy 18.
Is that a you can show boobs rating or not? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think Nintendo would allow that.
I don't know. I've seen some of these games, the hand pumping action or whatever.
It's all implied, Mike.
Yeah.
Cast Coder shares the Wii classic Jimmy Johnson's Anything with an Engine. You remember this one?
No, I don't remember.
It was like
How dare you ask me that?
Everyone had like go-karts and lawnmowers and anything with an engine, really.
Yeah, it was what it says, right? Anything with an engine. What, do you race them? It's like a garage game?
Yeah, you got like a dirt track. It looks like a Monster Jam.
Sounds stupid.
It probably was. Beefhammer says, enough of these joke responses. Time to take video games seriously.
Thank you.
I think.
Yeah, how dare you all take my well thought out, beautiful props and try to spin it into some sick joke about waifus and touching dicks.
Didn't someone make the suggestion last week and you said we'll do that?
Yeah, I thought it was a great. How dare you all take that person's suggestion and just stomp all over it with your touching pee-pee jokes?
Let's see. He continues, I think Mother is the better title for Earthbound. It represents the game's theme. Mother is the stability point in a chaotic world. You can be a small kid going on this wild adventure, but you're always able to come home to your mom who will say, that sounds quite nice, honey. Now eat your dinner and I'll tuck you in.
I think he's reaching there. I don't think anybody would. I don't think it implies that this instinctively. I think it's a good name. I think Earthbound's also good. I am always very curious what they would call Mother 3 here. If they would just call it Mother 3, if they're going to pool a Dragon Warrior to Dragon Quest, or if they're just going to call it Earthbound 2, right?
Yeah, they probably have to do Mother 3 at this point.
I wonder.
All right, Turbo Sean didn't read the rest of the thread and says, screw seriousness, I love a good pun, and shares Splatoon again.
There you go. All right. That's fine. We'll
and then the final one, B. Traven, says, how has no one added The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls, a Japanese GameCube game?
Yeah. Oh, crap, man. I love it when the last answer is the right one.
Why I say Game Boy? I meant to say Game Boy. I said GameCube. I don't know.
I know it's Game Boy. So that's like the Link's Awakening team before they made Link's Awakening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that did it. There you go. Who was that again?
That was from B. Traven.
Congratulations, B. Traven. You won. That is actually the best name.
The 11th hour. He submitted that 8 minutes ago. So good job.
The best name a Nintendo game has ever had for who? What's it called again? For whom
the frog for whom the bell tolls.
The frog for whom the bell tolls. Yeah, that's great. That's good stuff. All right. Why don't we take
any super chats? Or we're gonna take a break.
We have some super chats. We're gonna talk about what we've been playing. Let's take a little break first, and we'll get right back to that. All right, I'm going to the back of the room real quick.
All right. Hey, rock and roll. I'm going to finish this beer and then drink my water.
So the Kingdom Hearts knowledge doesn't run the family there?
Look, I beat the first one. I was playing the second one, got bored, and I did not really keep up with the series.
I mean, that's fair. It's a very boring series. You don't need to see any more after you've seen the first one.
My issue always with Kingdom Hearts games, I hated the pacing of the cutscenes. Like you play that Tarzan level, and it's just like characters like staring at each other and like audibly blinking for 5 minutes. It's like, oh my god, I've seen Tarzan. Can we move this along?
That's kind of a Square Enix problem.
Right? No, absolutely. Like, and then
Let's-
you know, I was there for all the Disney characters, and then it's just like as it went on, it was like, oh no, Organization 13. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Where's Donald Duck? I want to see him talk to like Jack Skellington, please.
Well, at least you weren't a Final Fantasy fan who came to it for that, because they
Yeah,
dropped that so
Well, that
fast.
was the thing too. I like that aspect of it too. And yeah, that was all gone. And it also bothered me that they called Squall Leon. Like, I get it, but like, just call him Squall. That's his
Yeah,
name.
that was
to
a
me.
really weird choice. Like, I get his last name's Leon Hart, and they're like, but why is he like in hiding or something? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
None of it made sense.
No,
None of it
Kingdom
made
Hearts
sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then
That's how we end up with 358 days over
we got
2,
so young
man.
about
Right.
this.
We're just it's
a civil
Kingdom Hearts
discussion.
since you weren't here.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready. We can get back to it.
Okay.
And we are back. You know, I have a dentist appointment today. They had very nice things to say about my teeth.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Are there any dentist games? There's like a lot of teeth motifs in games.
There had to be one for the DS and or the Wii. There had to be.
Like, you can brush your teeth in a WarioWare game, yeah, but like, well, isn't there? I know there's Pokemon Sleep. Wasn't there also some kind of Pokemon teeth brushing thing or something else like that? I don't. More like apps that just teach
yeah,
kids to brush their
there's a
teeth.
toothbrushing one. We tried to use with the kids and they didn't care, but they're actually good teeth brushers, so it's fine.
Yeah, well, there you go then. All right, let's read some more of these super chats that have come
Do it.
in here now. Let's see. JD Camp says, shout out to Furry, Hentai, Tangram, and Hanafuda. So talking about some fun Nintendo game names. Thank you so much, JD Camp. Shout out to them indeed. L. Grug says, how do you feel about all of the Vince returning to WWE stuff? I'm sure Jeff is happy if this would lead to more soda-themed matches.
There was no better proof of Vince's return than the ending of WrestleMania on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it's hard to say. People were saying if it was maybe nebulous then, but on Raw, he was there. People are saying he's just back. I think that sucks. I was really enjoying WrestleMania. Then the ending of that last match was just really stupid to me. And there were some people, like Jeff, saying, well, let's see where it goes. I think it's going nowhere. What they did on Raw was really stupid. You know, I have kind of been a just watch the big pay-per-view guy with WWE. And, like, after night 1 of WrestleMania, I was like, man, maybe it is time to, like, really dive in and watch this way more regularly again. And now I'm like, nah, that's okay. I'll see what, you know.
It's one of those things that feels like the easiest thing in the world to write and to draw people in.
Yeah,
And the ways they screw that up are really astounding to me.
Yeah, you know, have the good guy win. People like that, especially for WrestleMania. So I don't know, really stupid. And then we got one more here. Oh no, that's it. That was from El Grog. That's it for now, everybody. So yeah, we are coming close-ish to the end. If you get your super chats in, we will read them. AJ.
Don't delay super chat today.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. So now
Look at that.
which Nintendo character would make for the best wrestler? I feel like my mind always goes to Wario for these questions. I feel like too much, but this one, absolutely Wario. In Master of Disguise, I think one of his outfits just made him look like a Mexican wrestler. Anyway,
Because like imagine like the Nintendo characters already are wrestlers. Like you got Mario, he's like your John Cena, and then like there's this new wrestler, and he's gonna make his debut, and it's like the evil John Cena, and he comes out and starts wrecking everybody.
Remember when there was like 2 Undertakers? That was fun.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
sucked, but they did that. Yeah. Well,
I mean, I would say if not him, then Donkey Kong probably would wreck some fools. But who would be like a good like high flyer, like a Rey Mysterio type?
Right. Who would be the Rey Mysterio? Yeah, that's a good. Who's like nimble
is
and athletic?
Is it Toad?
I said that. I was thinking that too. He's very fast in Mario 2. And so Chris says Incineroar. Right. There's literally a Pokemon whose whole thing is that he's a professional wrestler.
He's not wrong.
Chris was an Incineroar main there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wario also does that spinning pile driver move in Wario World, which is incredible. So there you go. Good job, Chris. Okay, that's it for now. AJ, have you been playing any games of the Nintendo Persuasion?
So I was over the weekend I was on my Steam Deck and I'm in a retro game mood. I'm gonna try to play something, and I was just flipping through everything, and my kids were astounded that I had so many games in this thing. And I saw Final Fantasy like 1 on the NES. I was like, you know what? I've never like truly played this before.
So not like
And
we're not talking about any kind of remake or anything. You're talking
no, like
literally Final
OG.
Fantasy 1.
Yep. And I started it up, and it wants you to make your party. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be like trying to pretend it's 1990 and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to look at a guide. And I remembered that YouTube channel you've talked about called You Can Beat Games.
Yeah, I love that channel.
So I've just been kind of playing it and following along with him, and I'm having a blast with
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
There's
back when I
okay.
played these games, I was just following GameFAQs guides, like, you know,
Right.
because it's fun. It's fun to like know what's the best way to do things, and then you can go and do it, or you can't.
So I named all the characters after me and the kids. They think that's funny. So I'm the warrior, Sophia's the red mage, Walter's the black belt, and Livy is the black mage.
Oh my god, AJ, you're gonna make me puke. I named all
What?
the characters after my children.
That's
Holy
right. It's adorable.
shit.
It's
Oh,
adorable.
very cute ass guy. God.
But but yeah, I assume you. Oh,
Excuse
get
me.
over it.
I'm AJ.
Get-
I love my family.
Because they were sitting there with me, like
Oh
I had to
my
amuse them.
god! Wait, who's the red mage? That's the best. Who got to be the red mage?
Soph.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah,
Lucky.
I told her. So if you've played the original, or I think
Sorry, rules of 3. I had to do it one more time, right?
that's fair.
That's
is the
comedy.
Rule. That is the rule. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to, or it's not funny anymore. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so if you play the OG, and I think some of the earlier remakes kept it
I'm
intact.
sorry, my younger brother is now just said that his Demon Souls character is named after his wife. You are all disgusting.
Okay, that's a bit much, Chris.
Oh my god, you all guys all disgust me. Oh my god, I named my characters Tokoto. Name them cool things, like amalgamations of two nerd heroes.
Yeah, cool things. So, like I was saying, there's this thing called the Peninsula of Power in the game, and so because of the way like the tiles in the world map were coded, they had like regions that were like, you know, supposed to be like the monsters that would spawn.
Sure.
And there's this one little tip of 2 tiles on a little peninsula that were like north of a border that they didn't account for, and so higher level things would spawn there, but they're not impossible. You just can't fight more than one. And that's where people go to like grind out some early levels and get a bunch of gold early on.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, so I did that and like got my guys like 5 free levels and
It's not
bought
a
like the best
bug,
sword and all that.
But
No,
it's,
it's exactly. You got to know what you're doing. It's not in the Pixel remaster. They took it out.
Boo. Right.
So yeah, I completed the first 2 quests. I awoken the elf king and I saved the princess. And
Did you get goosebumps when you they fixed the bridge and you had the title screen show up after?
yeah, that's good. And honestly, my favorite thing was going into Matoya's cave, and I was like, oh, that's where this comes from.
Yeah, you're understanding why things have the names they do in Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, and it's
There you
even the
go.
same song. Do you notice that?
Yeah, they do that
Yeah,
a lot.
that's wild. That's wild. So I'm still chucking away, and I got like 2 or 3 hours in. And I'm probably like a quarter of the way through it, and it's just kind of funny because it's like you take for granted that there is like this original version of this game, and it really is. You can see the D&D influences that exist in the original Final Fantasy
Oh yeah.
that really aren't a thing anymore. And you know what I like about it too? It's not a loot game. Like you're not like trying to get like rare drops or anything. You're just trying to get
No.
money so you could go buy the good stuff. There's something kind of pure about that I like.
Just that and
Yeah.
levels. I mean, Final Fantasy has always kind of been kind of good about that. It's
Mhm.
not really grinding for loot per se. You can sometimes, and there are some fun rare drops. But even
Mhm.
then, usually it's more interesting ways of getting loot than that. Like a Final Fantasy 8, it's all about turning your cards from Triple Triad into items, and then in Final Fantasy 9, using steel is actually like the way you get a lot of really good items and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So yeah, good fun.
I've never played much of like the actual original NES version of Final Fantasy because
That's the thing too. Like, because I was like, as I was getting going, I was like, do I want to just go buy the Pixel remaster or like do the GB? I was like, no, I'm gonna play the Nintendo version.
That's
You know, it
kinda
came
neat.
out like 1990 in the States or something like that. So yeah, it's
I kind of
kind
want
of
to
neat
that.
to revisit our roots, as it were, Mike.
Yeah, because when I beat the Game Boy Advance version.
Mhm.
There's been a bunch of them. I mean, there's that PSP version that's very good. There's Pixel Remaster, obviously. There's I think there's one for the Wonder Swan. You can go pick that one up someday.
Yeah,
Why not? Yeah. All right. Anything else, AJ, Nintendo E related?
That's it. That's really Nintendo related. I do plan to I got my new graphics card finally after waiting a month, and I need to get the files off my Steam Deck. But I kind of want to see what Breath of the Wild looks like in 4K, so I might set
Oh,
that
so you
up
gotta
later.
decompile your cartridges.
Yes,
Well,
legally,
not
of
cartridge.
course.
Jeff's not here, but he'll
Yeah.
find out if I call it a cartridge. Oh God, please. Oh, Penny's upset. Well,
Yeah, she's like, it's called a cart, Michael.
sorry, jeez. All right, he's been poisoned by Jeff.
No, that's that. I was translating for Penny.
I understand.
I don't care.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of Zelda-ing last week because I finished Minish Cap for the Game Club discussion, which we did right before recording this podcast. And I played through Minish Cap once before, back when I got in the 3DS Ambassador program, actually. So, but playing through it again, I still had a lot of fun with it. They're like little things where sometimes the kind of quests you have to do between going to the dungeons can be a little long, or maybe not like super clear. But the strengths really are pretty strong for me in this one. I love
the strengths
dungeon.
are strong.
Look, Edge guy, all right, you don't have to come at me like that.
The writer in the family.
I'm the wordsmith here, damn it. But these dungeons are great. The first dungeon with like that kind of rotating barrel, and you're small, and you have to fight that like really big goo monster, but he's only big because you're small, right?
Right.
The sky temple kind of area you go to, like the last main dungeon of the game before like the final stretch. I love that. You're just up in the clouds. You get not Rock's feather, you get Rock's cape. So you can jump and glide. And
that's a good item.
And the boss is these two like flying manta rays. There's a small one and a big one. And you have to kind of jump between them, which is just really cool and epic for a top-down 2D Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite final boss fights in this series, actually, against Vati. It's surprisingly challenging. You have to use a lot of your mechanics. It's sometimes a little like almost surprising what items you do have to use there, and it isn't really immediate right away, but it's still really fun. I enjoy it. Have you ever beat Minish Cap?
I never have. I've seen the ending years ago, but I never did finish it.
No, it is good stuff, and hey, it's on NSO. Man, I've played a lot of the Game Boy Advance NSO stuff already.
Right? I wonder if that's like been a good metric for them. Like, are people responding to those games? Because they play well on the Switch. The emulator's good. They look great on that screen. I think it's the best like classic filter I've seen on anything because of the OLED, making that work well. So yeah, I hope they kind of realize like we should lean into this a little bit.
And if I had it like just beaten Mario and Luigi on my analog pocket not too long ago, I would have done that on there. But like, I'm good on that. Don't really care that much about Mario Advance 4, Mario 3. But otherwise, every other game I've played, like either beaten or close to it. I'm pretty close to beating Kirikou actually. Get back on that. But Metroid Fusion, obviously big deal. But yeah, like I was in such a Zelda mood after beating Minish Cap. I actually did go and boot up Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo NSO shop.
So good.
It's funny because like I beat that game so many times at one point in my life that I actually have taken a bit of a break from it. It's been a while since I played it. Like I didn't play it again when I got an SNES Classic, or when it was like a 3DS eShop game or a Wii U eShop game, because I had like played it so many times originally. I played that Game Boy Advance port of it. I think I played it on the Wii Virtual Console and all that stuff. But yeah, that is still a very, very, very good game. It is refreshing also how fast you get into things. You are immediately just going at it. And because I beat this one so much, like even with Minish Cap, I beat it once, but it was 10 years ago. Not a lot was like coming back to me per se. And Link to the Past, there's just these little things where like, okay, I know I should go over here and use the mirror here. So I go to the Dark World here and I'm going to get a heart piece and stuff like that. It's funny just having these little things pop up in my memory. But it's harder than I remember, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if because like relative to Minish Cap, like I feel like I take so much damage from things, and I'm like, am I supposed to get an armor upgrade? I even looked, like, no, you just get those from one of the dungeons later. I was like, oh, okay, I guess sucks to suck, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. About halfway through it, I've done the first 3 dungeons in the Dark World now, so
nice.
I don't know why I find that whole mini quest line where you get the ocarina and you unlock the bird. That whole thing is like really sad. You like find that guy, he teleports to the Dark World, and he like turns into a tree, and you have to tell his dad that he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like unlock the bird. I'm like, oh baby, let's go. I was like, I've always like had like fun feelings about that bird because of that. Like, there's something melancholic about this fast travel system. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, what a game. What a game.
Lots of good Zelda games, man. I hope.
It's amazing how much stuff they just got right on early Super Nintendo.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, and I was kind of thinking about this. Like, I like playing Zelda 1 still. I like playing Metroid 1 still. But to me, the Super Nintendo upgrades for those two series are a big deal. Like, even Mario World, so Mario 3 isn't as much an upgrade as we had with Zelda in Metroid, where it's just like, yeah, this is like already kind of the ideal versions of this thing. I'm excited for the Oracle games now because I played those when they got added to the 3DS like eShop, not as the ambassador program, but later I believe, and I like them a lot. So it's been a bit where I don't remember a whole lot. It'll be fun to play those again. Have you ever played the Oracle games?
Again, I played one of them, and I didn't continue over.
You seem like an age. No, I was about to say you seem like an ages guy, but you might have played.
I honestly can't remember which one it was. So
were there seasons or ages in them?
I don't remember. I truly don't.
I mean, I remember the kids like, well, ages like seasons is new. Ages is just time travel again. I guess that's okay, but yeah, we could probably do something.
Which one is the better one? What do people say?
No, well, I think people like seasons a little bit more overall. They're both very good. I think the idea was. That Seasons is a bit more focused on puzzles and Ages is a bit more focused on combat, but like don't let that get into your head too much. Like they still both have both of those things.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun. I really want to play Link Between Worlds again, so I might just be like plugging in my 3DS because gosh, that game is good, and it seems like a crime I only ever played it once, to be honest.
I need to get my 3DS out and make sure the firmware's up to date, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I got you there. It's just a little bit now. We're going to be playing freaking. I mean, it's next month. We're going to be playing Tears of the Kingdom now. That's insane.
It's starting. I mean,
that's weird.
Going off Nintendo. I mean, we got Jedi Fallen Order at the end of the month. Then like I got a week to beat that, and then like Zelda's out. Then we get into the crazy ass June. It's like, oh, here we go. Like, buckle up, everybody.
Man, that's nuts. Oh, and gosh. I've been having so much fun. Resident Evil, I gotta beat that, and I even get to the freaking Dead Space remake. That might be happening like Game of the Year catch-up time is when I get to that one.
Well, that's how I'm debating to go again a little off topic, but with Star Wars, like, do I want to just do the $15 a month EA Pro thing? Because then I'd get that, I'd get Dead Space, I'd get PGA, and there's even something else in that list. I was like, I could play this, so
gosh,
I don't know. Oh, Need for Speed, that's what I was Unbound.
Oh, Mega Man Battle Network collection very soon. Also.
God, that even Advance Wars. Like, God, do I have time to play Advance Wars right now? Probably not.
It's kind of rough.
I want to I want them to know that we like that game, but jeez,
man, things are getting busy. Things are getting crazy. I gotta maybe try to beat Link to the Past pretty soon here, so I'm ready for some of this other stuff. Well, that's us coming to the end of the show here. AJ, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything you want to pitch. You want to tell, you kind of put in good work here on
speaking of Nintendo games, I guess I could have talked about this. So the latest episode of 90s Disney may be relevant to your interest because we talked about a game called Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow, or if you were across the pond or south of the equator, you knew it as Donald and Maui Mallard. But this was a Disney Interactive developed title that came out originally for the Mega Drive in Europe. Then the Genesis version got canceled in the States, but Nintendo picked it up and published it on the Super Nintendo, but it was a different version developed by Eurocom in London. Then the Brazilian version came out for the Genesis, which was what would have been the American version, but then that came out enhanced on PC. So again, a very fascinating history to this game that we really dive into in the podcast episode. This was also the first professional soundtrack done by Michael Giacchino, before he left Disney to start his own gaming studio, which led to him working at DreamWorks Interactive, which led to him meeting Steven Spielberg, which led to him writing scores for movies. So, a lot of important history with Maui Mallard, it turns out.
Yeah, it doesn't get brought up as much as a lot of the other 16-bit Nintendo games, like your Quackshot or...
That's all hand-drawn animation cells turned into sprites. It's very pretty.
Yeah, it's a cool game, and we had a lot of fun talking about it. So check out that episode of 90s Disney, everybody, at 90sDisney.com. Where can people find you on Twitter, AJ?
I am AdgeGuy on Twitter. I am AdgeGuy711 on Instagram, and I have a Mastodon. I forget what server I'm on.
Mastodon. I've not tried those waters yet.
90s Dizzy has a decently active Mastodon
Do we?
account, so.
I did not know that.
No, Diz Twitter made a pretty good jump to Mastodon. There's a whole Diz Twitter server, worldkey.io, that's pretty active. So we
I had no idea. That's great.
Yeah,
Well, everybody, I'll
yeah.
be back on Thursday with Game as the Sides. Jeff will still be on his little trip. Oh, we're so close to 100 likes, by the way. If we can get a few more of those, I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Click.
Clickety click. But yes, I will be getting somebody for Game as the Sides. Don't you worry. It'll be a good time. I got to think about what we're going to do, too. Something fun. It's always a good time. We always have fun. Don't we, AJ? Tell everybody what fun you have.
Mandatory fun. Yes.
That's a good... Man, is that really Weird Al's last album? When's he going to make a new one?
Yeah, wow, it's been a minute. Well, yeah, that movie.
We're leaving. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. It's a bummer not being able to hear the music.
I just realized I never made an outro screen. Let's go to my normal one for my podcast. There we go. I can see this and wait. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now it doesn't say that anymore. Professionals.
Very nice.